Hey everybody, it's GobletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we are going to be playing another Artifact Remix draft. It's been a very long time since we've drafted one of these. It is its own reprints only set. They kind of brought in a bunch of reprints from every set on Arena to build kind of a artifact focused draft format. So it's very unique, it's very interesting, and very fun. That said, if you are one of the players that likes to draft to build their collection for standard, it is not great for you. It's a lot of historic sets and pioneer sets, a lot of old sets that are not currently legal in standard. But if you want to play an interesting draft format with a lot of fun artifact synergies, that is what this draft is for. And we are incredibly happy with our pack one pick one. Angel of Invention is an absurd bomb rare. It's a mythic rare, 5 mana 2/1, flying vigilant lifelink, fabricate 2, and other creature control get +1/+1. Fabricate 2 means that it creates 2/1/1s when it enters the battlefield to buff those up, or you can just put the counters onto itself and get yourself a 5 mana 4/3 flying vigilance lifelink. Either of those stat lines is absolutely absurd, so an incredible way to start the draft, grabbing that Angel of Invention. For pick 2, we see some really good cards. The Thraben Inspector investigates when it enters, so it makes a clue, so it's a 2-for-1, pretty much guaranteed immediately. That's probably the best white common in the set, a very good one, honestly, probably even better than the Hexgold Hoverwings, which is another solid option. There's also the Ridge Scale Tusker, which is just huge, 5 mana 5/5 that puts a +1/+1 counter onto all of your other creatures as well. So that's good for just green beatdown. There's a lot of really good options here. I think those three are the best, but Bake Into a Pie is also very high up there as great removal. Seeing as we did just grab an excellent white mythic rare, we're going to do almost everything in our power to end up in white. So I'm just going to take the best white card, which is Thraben Inspector there. And for pick 3, we get another great white card, Barbed Spike. 2 mana for a 2/1 flyer. And then you can move this equipment later for +1/+0 to other stuff. So very good card. 2 mana 2/1 flyer on curve that leaves behind a little bit of artifact value is some goodness. There's also the Experimental Confectioner, very fun for the green-black deck. Green-black has a lot of food tokens and can get a lot of value out of sacrificing those foods, like this card making rat tokens. So that's a good one. Wanderer's Strike is solid removal, a little bit slow at 5 mana, but you get to proliferate, so you get to add +1/+1 counters to everything that already has them. Argothian Opportunist is also pretty sweet in this set because there's so many artifacts to spend that Power Stone mana on. And then, of course, like Welding Sparks, just also self-explanatory, it's just removal. Pick 4, Chrome Courier is pretty sweet for the blue-white deck. 3 mana for a 1/1 flyer. When it enters, reveal the top 2 cards of your library, put one into your hand and the other into your graveyard. If you put an artifact into your hand, you gain 3 life. Even if you're not drawing artifacts off of Chrome Courier, this is just great value up front. Get your 1/1 flyer, draw your extra card. I think Chrome Courier is kind of a banger, and it's worth going off color instead of taking Wanderer's Strike. Pick number 5 now. Arcbound Prototype, perfectly reasonable filler 2 mana creature for any white deck. Modular means that it comes with 2 +1/+1 counters because it has modular 2, and then when it dies, you move those counters to another artifact you have. So I don't mind the Arcbound Prototype. Astronaut's Harvester isn't bad either. Even if you don't have black mana to unearth it, it's just a 2 mana 3/1 for any deck that has a little bit of extra upside. If you do have the mana to unearth it, it's quite good. I might actually go Harvester over Prototype, a little speculative, but still playable no matter what colors we end up in. Yeah, I'm going to go for that Harvester there. Pick number 6. Another Chrome Courier looks pretty awesome. Doubling them up is going to help us get a really clear direction here. So I like that. Ornithopter Paradise is a great card to take early, though, because it's a mana fixing and ramp that's completely colorless. So again, no matter what you end up playing, you can play this. Monoscallion's also really good in this set. There's a lot of like 2 mana 3/1s and 2 mana 2/1s where this can be pretty absurd. And then Metalwork Colossus is a fun finisher, but a little more narrow than the rest of these cards. I actually might go Monoscallion here. If we play against like any 2 mana 3/1s, this card is just ridiculously good. And it's completely colorless. Now we can take Glint Sleeve Artisan sticking to white, but Fierce Witchstalker in green is also quite good. Pick number 8. This pack is not quite good. I don't think any of these are very exciting. Maybe the 1 mana 2/2 haste is the best. I could also just take Chrome Prowler. It's like a little bit weaker, but goes in the same direction as our Chrome Courier. Pick 9, there's a blue-white dual land. Not too much else. And we are getting to the very filler part of the pack. All of the random leftovers, which includes Wanderer's Strike, luckily. So we'll have some amount of mid removal. Double Wanderer's Strike nice and late. All right, pack 2, pick 1. It's a very reasonable white spell with Danitha. She's not that exciting, though. What we have is a Simian Simulacrum. This is a 3 mana 4/3 by itself for any deck. Obviously, it's really good if you have access to green, but it's still okay even without any green mana. I think similarly to the Astronaut's Harvester, I'm just going to take it whether or not we can unearth it. There's not much else in this pack. So let's grab the Simulacrum here. If we do get pushed to green, Captured by Legax is a very good removal for the green decks. You get to make it so a creature can't attack or block, and you put 2+1/+1 counters on your board. Captured by Legax was gross for aggressive green-white decks. We did see some pretty solid green creatures going late, like the Fierce Witch Stalker, so there's a chance that we push to green off this Simulacrum over blue. The only thing that we're 100% doing is playing white. Spring-loaded Saw Blades is pretty great. Deal 5 to a tapped creature, and then you get to exile an artifact from your grave later for 4 mana to turn this into a solid vehicle as well, so you get a 2-for-1. I'll take that over Gearseeker Serpent as the next most exciting card, because that'd be fun in a blue-white artifacts deck. Affinity this out for relatively cheap. Then you've got a giant blocker early, so you've got a nice road block, nice defensive play, and then when you get to the late game, you have the mana to keep making it unblockable, finish your opponent off pretty easily. Gearseeker Serpent is a sweet one. Speaking of sweet ones, Vault Scourge. My buddy, my favorite common in the whole set, completely colorless. You just have to spend 2 life instead of that black mana. To get a 1 mana 1/1 flying lifelinker, you can shove into literally any deck. And then, slap your barbed spikes or whatever onto it and gain a little bit of extra life if you're lucky. If you're a +1/+1 counter deck, it's a lot better. If you're like an equipment deck with cards like Bone Splitter, it's better. But Vault Scourge is good at anything, and I like taking it early. Another Chrome Courier, a Hard Evidence. There's a green-white duel and an Argothian Sprite if we're going that way. I think I'll just take another Chrome Courier here. There's also good black removal, but I don't think we're going to end up in black. We'll just keep our mediocre white removal spells and rely on those. Okay. Oaken Siren's an awesome card, so I'm pretty happy to stick to blue-white if we're going to get that now as well. 2 mana 1/2 Flying Vigilance, so just keeps chipping at your opponent, plus it is mana for artifacts, so that is a lot of the cards in the set. Yeah, this looks pretty awesome. Really enjoy this start here. Metallic Rebuke's an awesome counterspell. Same pack as Vault Scourge, though. Another Vault Scourge and a Mandible Justiciar is another good one. But I think I am a little more worried about not having enough interaction than not having enough creatures at this point, so I will take the Metallic Rebuke counter. Pick 7. Puzzle Knot is fine. A couple 1/1s. Chrome Prowler's also fine, but they're not exciting. Fleeting Memories is a really fun win condition. We've won a draft or 2 off this. The blue-green decks where you sack a bunch of clues and just mill your opponent out. Really, really fun stuff, but not for this deck. This is not a grindy, like, clue token control deck. Archaeomender. Board the Weatherlight. We'll take Archaeomender here. Seems like a good value play for the late game. Captured by Legax did wheel, but I'm pretty committed to blue at this point. I don't think we're gonna Captured by Legax Simian Simulacrum it up, sadly. I'll still take it. I don't think any of those other cards are super exciting. Mirror Enforcer's like sweet in affinity decks in constructed formats, but that's because every land that you play is an artifact, and you have 0-mana artifacts. I think in draft, even in this deck, it's still just reasonable. It's not like a must pick or anything. Do get a green-white duel. Maybe we just play a bunch of green duels and throw this in there. Well, great rare. Thought Monitor. Get a 2/2 flyer and draw 2 cards when it enters as well. That's the really important part. The fact that you also draw cards off of this, so you're up quite a bit in value. It's like a bigger Chrome Courier, more expensive, but with the affinity, you can cast it for a relatively reasonable mana cost. Come on in, Thought Monitor. This deck is looking sweet. Yeah, and I really don't think I need the green mana. We could cut this Captured by Legax, and Simulacrum will still be useful for the games where we get to like lead with a Chrome Courier or an Oaken Siren or a Barbed Spike. Like any of these cheap flyers we have, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Throwing 2+1/+1 counters onto your 1/1 or 1/2 flyers is really, really good. So I think Simian Simulacrum is still going to be a banger. Here we got past a Mightstone and Weakstone, which is pretty incredible because you can shove it into any deck, and it's going to be quite nice in the draft format here, the artifact draft format. It's got that flexibility. It is a colorless removal spell or colorless card draw that also gives you artifact mana later. And every deck is running some amount of artifacts. Scrapwork Cohort is awesome. 4 mana for a 3/1 and a 1/1, so 2 creatures off the 1 card, and you unearth it again later, get another 1/1 permanently, and a 1-time swing out of it. There's a green-blue dual land. I'm not going to play another Arcane Mender or a Recommission, so I'll take the green-blue dual land. Even if we don't play Captured by Legax, we could play a few random green duels so that every now and then we could unearth the Simian Simulacrum. I don't know if that would be quite worth it, because we will lose tempo by playing more tap lands, but it is interesting. Here is the 3rd green if we want to try to do that, but there's also just a Gear Seeker Serpent we could play straight up. I took too long. Well, that's on me. I was trying to take the Gear Seeker Serpent. I decided in the end I probably shouldn't try to play a bunch of tap lands just for my 1 of Simian Simulacrum. It's probably be better not to. I will take another Razortide Bridge though over Cogwork Rustler, which is also pretty good. The Foundry guy is good too. That makes every artifact cost 1 less, but we don't have a whole ton of like really expensive artifacts. Spyglass Siren's a great cheap flyer, and that looks like what this deck is all about. Some great cheap flyers. Get another Scrapwork Cohort, my lord. Eye of Malcator's fine. I might be more excited about Hexgold Hoverwings, though, because we're playing such a flyer-centric deck at this point. Take this Eye of Malcator. Archaeo Mender. We got more than enough playables. We're going to have to make some decisions on what we want to cut. So basically, we should have had this pile plus a Gear Seeker Serpent. That's on me. We probably would end up playing the Gear Seeker Serpent too, because we don't have all that much for like really high mana value. Really big finishers. I think I have enough more consistent creatures. I'm less excited about Eye of Malcator. I also kind of want to run every single creature I have that makes 2 cards off of 1, so that I can run the On the Job as a finisher as well. Right, because this is 2 creatures, these are 2 creatures, this is 3 creatures, so it looks like a pretty good On the Job deck. if I just cut some like 1-for-1 creatures. Cogworks Puzzle Knot's also 2 creatures. But that one's pretty slow, so it's less exciting. We have 5 2-mana creatures, because we have Puzzle Knot and Barbed Spike as well. I feel like Wanderer's Strike might be expensive enough to just run like 1 copy of here. And then I could cut a land. I don't really want to. Maybe the Hover Wings as well. We've got a lot of 4 and 5 mana stuff now. I think I will cut a Wanderer's Strike. I don't think I want double 5 mana. Well, triple 5 mana removal, really, because we have Might Stone and Weak Stone as well. We have 16 creatures, 17 off Puzzle Knot, 18 off Barbed Spike, 19 off Hover Wings. Okay, we cut 1 creature card of some kind. Maybe we have enough flyers to just cut the Cogwork Wrestler. This is very good when it's relevant, but if we're flying past our opponent, it might not be relevant that often. We still have ground creatures. It's not exclusively flyers here. This card's probably still good. It's also a good one to like end up in the grave consistently for Archaeomender. Could also just cut the Archaeomender. But I like it with like Chrome Courier. I might cut this Cogwork Wrestler if I'm cutting a creature here. Or maybe the Puzzle Knot. I like that it's giving us multiple creatures off of the 1 card for like on the job, but it is one of the least efficient cards in the deck. It's 2 mana for a 1/1 and then 2 mana for a 1/1. So 4 mana for 2 1/1s. Unless you really care about like the artifact entering the battlefield triggers, it's pretty slow. But if you do really care about just individual artifacts on board, it is 2 artifacts on the board immediately when you spend the first 2 mana, but still. I think I'm going to drop the Puzzle Knot here. Let's check how our mana's looking. We have 10 white cards and 8 blue. So we're on a 10-9 split thanks to double Razor Tide Bridge. Sounds great to me. We'll call it a deck here, hop in the gameplay, see how far this one can take us. Here we are on the draw for game 1. This is a slow hand on the draw, but I'm going to keep it. We have both of our colors, and double Cohort's a pretty good way to try to stabilize later off of or after a slow start. Our opponent's on a quick start here. Uprise a Renegade into the Arcbound Tracker. Because it's a modular card, that means the Renegade gets the +2/+0 for having a modified creature, having a creature with counters on it. I think I gotta go full defense here rather than running out Courier. I need to play somebody big enough to trade into the Renegade immediately. Force them into using removal. Or allowing the trade. We do take the trade, take a couple 2 for Menace, and then here is where we plan to stabilize hard off of double Cohort. Trading 1 Cohort into 1 Arcbound Tracker is fine. We'll get 1 really big Arcbound Slasher, which I can then chump block many times in the future. Can run out a Chrome Courier and still have Rebuke up. Courier is the chump block for the Slasher. Find a 3-bit Inspector here over on the job, which still has Rebuke up because it makes a clue token. And then I chump block with 3-bit Inspector instead. And that is the Rebuke. Targets will counter the second Slasher. The Improvise on Metallic Rebuke, as you can see there, absolutely fantastic. Okay. So let's dig with this clue token. Find just another land, drop ourselves a cohort for the 1/1 Chumper. I will attack here. We've got the 3/1 to block the Steel Seeker, the 1/1 token to block the Slasher. Mirage Mirror. It's not super good on their board because it can't copy the Arcbound Slasher. You can copy the Steel Seeker, just have another 1/2, I guess. I guess it can copy anything on the board. So it can copy a Cohort or a Chrome Courier. Doesn't have to be one of their cards. Little bit flooded here. Just gonna copy a Cohort, trade into a Cohort. Sure. Cogwork is -2/-0, so that won't change that. Take 7 to get the kill on Steel Seeker here. Stop them from drawing any cards off of that's ability. Ooh, and they did have an artifact to trigger it that they waited till main phase 2 for. So they either draw 3 cards or they have like a 50-50 chance of killing me here by milling 3. If they draw 3 cards, they essentially kill me too. This is a strong rare. I want to spin the wheel so bad. 7 life. Land, 2-drop, 3-drop or something. Land, 3-drop, let's go. Another got a 6/6 blocker, so we're not getting anywhere on the ground. We are desperate to draw one of our bangers. Looking for Angel of Invention. Try to kill them this guy. Thought Monitor would honestly be the best draw. Even better than the Angel of Invention. Get another flyer and draw 2 cards, and then use those cards to try to get ahead. But we need something big. We need some of our high mana value stuff. And we need it fast. There you go, that's something. We unearth first for the affinity. So we're gonna do that regardless to get blockers. Okay. Shooting myself for Scourge is a little painful. But I do have the life for it. We're essentially already dead in 1 shot, regardless. Sunder Shaman has to be chumped every turn. If I draw perfectly here, we kill them in 2 hits in the sky. So if I draw like Angel of Invention or something where I can make multiple chump blockers so that I can attack with everybody, Plains is not perfect here. That is land number 10. So I believe we're dead. I mean, I can live another turn, but I have to chump. So vigilance for sure. I need 3 blockers up, so I can only attack with one of these, and then I'm dead to removal. They attack with 4 creatures. They attack with those 3 and the Scrapwork Mutt, but the Mutt just hits me for 2, so by blocking with the lifelinking Vault Scourge, I'll be at 3 taking 2. Alright. If they got removal, they got removal. I'm gonna have to just chump with everybody. That'll do it. The Ridge Scale Tusker for a counter on everybody. But that would do it either way. Even if I attacked with nobody, I would then just lose my entire board and have 1 blind top deck. It's not going to get there. All right. Sad way to start it, but it was kind of close actually in the end there. Because if we had drawn another Scrapwork cohort or something, we could have gotten them down to like 6 with like 4 or 5 power flyers on board. So not a super bad showing from the deck. And we did draw 10 lands, so I think that was a reasonable showing, even if it was a loss in the end. I think this deck's got some legs to it. We'll see. 0-1 heading into game 2. All right, now this is a banger of a hand. That was the other thing I forgot about last game. I believe last game we didn't really start till like turn 3. We had a pretty slow opener too, and we were on the draw. So, but yeah, this hand's insane. We have Angel of Invention as well as Thought Monitor. Probably our 2 strongest cards. I mean, definitely our 2 strongest cards, right? The other rare is Mightstone and Weakstone, which is fine. Oh, we have a Simian Simulacrum in our deck as well, which if we had the green mana to unearth it, would probably be up there with these 2, but just the front half of the Simian Simulacrum is just solid. Staunch Crewmate's a really nice value play out of blue. They're going to draw Barbed Batterfist off of it. Mono Skellion's quite nice against the 1 toughness cards they've got over there. I want to get mana efficient, play the Glint Sleeve Artisan, and then play tap land and use Mono Skellion next turn. Sure. Can Cogwork Wrestler my token. 1/3 of my Glint Sleeve Artisan. There's Barbed Batterfist. Okay. That is a mildly awkward draw. So I really wanted to just use Mono Skellion this turn, but I don't think I can justify using it over just drawing the land off of Chrome Courier to guarantee an Angel Invention next turn. Yep. And I guess it's like awkward in a good way, right? To get a draw that's so good that it changes what you wanted to do. It just feels awkward because it's like, man, I wanted to get my Mono Skellion value. Filigree Attendant. Cool. Wee. Arcanist's Owl, that is not removal for the Angel of Invention. So our board remains pretty absurd for now. They do have 1 red mana up. That could be Voltage Surge or something to deal 2 to the Angel. Okay. One mana Thought Monitor. Whew, is that on the job? Coming up. That's crazy. This could be the slow roll with the Voltage Surge, which would be pretty smart here. Wait until we make like a big attack and then Voltage Surge the Angel so that our power toughness is reduced from what we thought it would be. That said, it really wouldn't be that bad for us because their creatures are all pretty small too. Cool. Get us some Monoskellion value. Ooh, Brea's Apprentice is a pretty sweet one. A 2/3 plus a 1/1 flyer and some really good sack abilities on that. And then they get the really cheap Gear Seeker Serpent 2 because of the affinity. I think we're on the job. This is basically going to be a board wipe. They'll still have a Gear Seeker Serpent. Everybody else will die on their board. So, like, they kill Angel of Invention and our Glint Sleeve Artisan, and we kill everybody but Gear Seeker Serpent, essentially. And then we get to Archaeomender back the Thought Monitor for some card draw, if that dies. Does not die. So they go to 5, they just have a Gear Seeker. We can Chrome Courier, or sorry, Archaeomender, a Chrome Courier Skellion, or I just play another Chrome Courier. Let's just play another Flyer. Draw Vault Scourge. Another Arcanist Salvo. Very good value. Finds a Dowsing Device. +1/+0 haste whenever they play an artifact, and then they could flip it and buff somebody and give them a bunch of extra power each turn with the Geode Grotto. It's pretty explosive. That Arcanist Salvo is actually really brutal here, being the 3 toughness that they need. I'll have to like Archaeomender back, Monoskellion, and lose the Thought Monitor to kill that. Yeah, too many 3 toughness. 3 toughness flyers coming from our opponent's deck here. Better to chump attack with Thought Monitor, pick it up and draw another 2 cards, or chump attack with Thought Monitor to pick up Monoskellion and kill the flyer. I feel like it has to be better to kill the flyer, because then we're going to have 2 flying power hanging around elsewhere. It's 3 mana to play Archaeomander and 3 mana to cast and activate the Monoskellion, so I need 6 mana up, which means I can crack the clue before and still have exactly enough. Although if I crack the clue, I don't have Vault Scourge mana. I do really need to play Vault Scourge this turn as well. Okay. There's a chance I'm supposed to only attack with Thought Monitor, because there's always a shot that they block Chrome Courier specifically. Okay. They're dead in 2 swings in the sky. They're at 4 life and we have 2 flying power. So we know our plan. Looks like everybody else they've got is on the ground. There's that dowsing device, which will get the flip this turn. Get some big buffs. Could die to this Geo Grotto, honestly. The buffing for the number of artifacts they have is going to be huge. That was a beautiful draw. That was a beautiful draw. Double blocker is so big here. Okay. I really do feel like we would have died here if we didn't draw that, but now I get to block 2 of their creatures and shoot another one. Yeah, there's the concession from our opponent. They didn't even know about the Saw Blades. 1-1 heading into game number 3. All right, here we are on the play for game number 3. Draw our 1 drop on turn 2, as you do. Sad Draven Inspector. Played against green-black. That is kind of the food archetype, and there's the monstrosity for it. So when that dies, they get a food, and any of their cards that care about food are going to be really happy. Ooh, there's their own Simian Simulacrum, which is going to be a lot better than ours, because it can unearth. They will be able to have the double green later. Some big chunk of damage immediately. We've got Mightstone, Weakstone mana already, though, and then we have Exile removal as well. So that'll be huge. Mightstone and Weakstone just immediately tapping for the clue mana there was really nice. There's Greta. That's one of the ways to use food. They can sacrifice them for +1/+1 counters or card draw. And they're just going to get a counter on the Simulacrum. And get in there. Okay, we did not draw Wanderer's Strike mana. Bum, bum, bum. I do have the mana for everything, which is pretty sweet. They're at 10 life. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 power in the sky. We need at least 2 swings. Candy, grapple. My choo-choo. These sorcery speed abilities, they are... Well, they can draw the card at instant speed, but the +1/+1 counter is sorcery speed, which is the more important one. So that means I can do this. And they need a combat trick to change this. Deadly Dispute it is. Sack that to draw a couple cards. Take the 3, go to 7. Come on, top deck, basic land. Island or plains, baby. Cool. So now we can exile the Simian Simulacrum and not have to worry about any recast shenanigans. No, I'm trying to hit in the sky. So got a turn 2, a 2-turn flying kill. Unless they eat a bunch of food. It's Emergency Weld on Greta. We have 5 power in the sky right now, so if they tap out to recast this Greta, then they just die. They have to hold the food man, and they see that. The draw is on the job, which is a pretty absurd draw. Because now they're super dead, even with the food. They eat the food, and we on the job. And that is 2-1, heading into game number 4. Here we are on the draw for game number 4. The tap land means that we don't curve perfectly, but the hand is still pretty great. There's Thraben Inspector from our opponent. Scrapwork Cohort is the draw. I think it's most important to get Siren down turn 2. More important than playing Scourge turn 1. Especially since we didn't draw land. If we drew an untapped land, I would just go land Scourge immediately. But if we miss the land there, it's really important to make sure we get the Siren down in case we keep missing lands. There's Hidden Stockpile for our opponent, some black-white sack stuff potentially. Did draw a land here, which is nice. Can run out a Cohort or a Hover Wings next turn. Uh-oh. Double Hidden Stockpile is kind of a combo. Because now every turn that they sack something, they get 2 servos in the end step, which means they can keep sacking 1 servo to get 2, and then sack 1 servo to get 2, and then sack 1 servo to get 2. It only works once per turn, so they can't get like 5 servos in 1 turn, but it's still very strong. I think because they're going to get a bunch of servos on the ground, I'm probably supposed to just run out the Hexgold Hover Wings here and just play into the sky immediately. Because I'm really tempted to try to go wide with cohorts that I have blockers ready, as well as more creatures for on the job, but it's not going to be massively relevant if the hidden stockpiles keep going off. Crack the clue, and that'll be 2 servos from the stockpiles as well. Here's the servos. Ooh, Angel of Invention if we hit lands. That is a massive deal. Makes me kind of want to run out Thraben Inspector, crack a clue, and play Vault Scourge here. This can, yeah, that can activate clues. I haven't played a land this turn, so I do want to crack the clue immediately. And then I guess I can Vault Scourge off of the Siren. Or I should do this if I hit some other 1-mana play. I don't think I have more 1-mana plays in the deck, but still. Oh, I guess then I have both colors up for whatever land I play. Yeah, so like if I want to hold up Sawblades instead, I could do that, but I'm not going to hold up Sawblades against 1/2s and 1/1s. Oltec Cloud Guard, dang it. They have a flyer. That's okay. Angel Invention makes all of our flyers at least 1 power bigger, so it makes them all at least 2 power. So every single flyer we have will trade into Cloud Guard at worst. Beautiful. There's the mana. Let's get in there. Frankly, let's get in there with everyone. Even the ground creature. Looks good to me. They're down to 9. They do have their removal for Angel of Invention, but they're still taking 4 damage in the sky every turn. Welcome to my face, Thraben Inspector. Down to 18. And they're going to crack it to scry 1 and get a couple 1/1s. Could hit for 8 damage if I cast this on the job, which is not lethal. But I guess I could play a Cogwork Wrestler in an on the job here. So like if they let a single 1/1 through, they're dead. Which is interesting. Ooh, destroy the Hoverwings. That's rude. Do I just ruin combat for them here? I feel like I just ruin combat and that's fine. Kill every 1/1 they have. And keep all my creatures. Yeah, they're over it. Alright. That is 4-1? We got a loss right off the bat, but I feel like we've had a big recovery, a quick rally. It might just be 3-1. It's just 3-1. They've just been slightly long games. All right. 3-1 is still good. No matter what, we've got at least a 50-50 record from here, but we'll see if we can't keep this win streak up as we head into game number 5. All right, here we are now on the play for game 5. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully they play a 2-mana 3/1. We've got that Mono Skeleton again ready to shred. And they're playing red. One of my favorite 2-mana commons, probably my favorite 2-mana creature in red in this set is the Barbed Batterfist, which is a 2-mana 3/1. They are on Boros. White has a bunch of playable 2-mana 2/2s. That would be too big for Mono Skeleton to shoot. Well, there you go, Scrapwork Mutt. Is a very solid 2-drop, but it is also a 1 toughness card. So I could shoot that and play Vault Scourge, or I could just play Chrome Courier. I'm happy to just shoot it and get my value. If I had a tap land here, I'd be even happier. Be completely mana efficient, but this is fine. Bray's Apprentice, excellent card. Get a 2/3 and a 1/1 flyer, and they can sack artifacts to draw more cards or get more damage in. Chrome Courier is now looking for lands for sure. That Apprentice really just walls us off. These are not lands. If I played this pre-combat, I could have grabbed Wrestler and actually sent Scourge in, but it is what it is. We'll just Courier for Courier. Goblin Tomb Raider. 1 mana, 2/2 haste. And the Bray's Apprentice both coming in here. Aggressive stuff. I think we take it, and then we top deck a land and win. We definitely top deck a land, right? Chrome Courier, pick up a land. Use that land for Saw Blades now on Apprentice. And then on Angel next turn. Whoa, 5 non-lands in a row. Wow, all right. That's gross. Simulacrum for Scourge. If we had hit a land there, I feel like we'd be in a really, really incredible position because we would kill Bray's Apprentice with spring-loaded Saw Blades and we'd know for sure we're playing Angel Invention the turn after that. So that was the hope there off that Courier. But either way, both these Couriers have dug us 2 cards closer to a land, so we've dug 4 cards closer even if they didn't actually hit the land itself. They worked towards it. And here it is. This is Sorcery Speed. It's not Sorcery Speed. They could sack one of their artifacts at instant speed to make that a 3/3 flyer. Yes, they could sack Arcbound Tracker, and then they have a 3/3 flyer on blocks here. I might actually want to lead Mightstone and Weakstone and just kill the Apprentice here. Maybe even Mightstone and Weakstone the flyer, but that feels wrong with how good Apprentice's abilities can be. Yeah, I think we shoot the Apprentice. Should we hit another land here, we could now play Simulacrum and Angel in the same turn. Throw those counters on the Vault Scourge. But I will take what I can get. The 5th land is more than enough. Certainly don't need another one here. Take 6. Lifelink swing back into this game if we can. There you go. That is the Simulacrum mana. They have 1 red mana and a potential instance. They could have the Volt Surge to kill the Angel of Invention, where even if I put the counters onto the Angel, they could just sack their Bone Splitter to kill it. So I don't think I'm supposed to put the counters on the Angel. Yeah, I think they have the Voltage Surge, so they can deal 4 damage to Angel of Invention, even if I make Angel higher toughness. So we do this, we get the servos, because they're just going to kill this probably. And then we also juice up the Vault Scourge so that even if they do kill the Angel in response to us attacking, they don't get to kill the lifelinking Flyer. Okay, so they must have just a bunch of removal in hand. Then if they're going to play it like that, then they must have a way to blow up Angel right after this attack anyway. So the Voltage Surge on the Scourge and another one for the Angel Invention. They're down to 13. There's land number 4. They're a bit stuck on mana as well, but I believe they ditched one. Yeah, they ditched lands to the mutt. They do have Obliterating Bolt as well. Could double block the Arcbound Tracker to kill it, then they just have the one beefy Flyer, which I won't be able to attack through, but if they ever attack with it, I have the Saw Blades. I think we have to just pivot to hard defense here. Maybe I should have traded with the Ember Keeper since they're going to have another modified creature dying as well. I killed the 2/2 because I have a 1/1. I have a bunch of 1/1s, so the Ember Keeper being 1 toughness is very, very relevant, but its ability... Its ability to make more 1/1s is also really relevant. Clear out the skies. Jam. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're in the lead here. This should be fine. 9 life, they got 5 in the crackback. I should play defense, though, rather than playing 1 more flying power immediately. There we go. This thing got vigilance? Nope. Just a 5/5 crew 1. There's another Menace or another Arcbound Tracker. Unearth the Mutt, discard some Flood. Oh, discard a Scrapwork Cohort. Some Unearth value. Oop that. Oop that. Take 2. They don't get any 1/1s because we're just killing a token. There's our own Scrapwork Cohort. Pretty beautiful. Can play the Cohort and flip the Saw Blades. They've unearthed their cohort, gotten the extra token, slapped a bone splitter onto it. And there's the concession from our opponent. They could not find that last bit of gas they needed to break through, and we are 4-1 heading into game 6. All right, here we are on the draw now for game number 6, and we have a curve and a half here. Thraben Inspector, Vault Scourge, and Monoscallion all very early. Opponent starts with a Plains. Let's start with a Vault Scourge. Start draining that life back out of our opponent. Mortar Pod. Okay, goodbye, Vault Scourge. Fair enough. Monoscallion. The Mortar Pod comes with a 0/0, and then they can sack it to deal 1 to anything, and they can equip it later and do the same thing for 2. Citizen's Arrest, full-on removal spell on our 2-drop is fine. Here's Chrome Courier. Finds us Angel of Invention, okay. Okay. Angel of Invention and Simian Simulacrum. But we can't really reanimate Simian Simulacrum ever. Okay, I've already drawn the Thraben Inspector, so I don't have any more 1-mana white cards I could draw into, but I do have the Cogwork Wrestler at a blue, so we hold the blue up when we crack this clue. But we just draw a 2-drop Ashnod's Harvester. Actually a pretty good draw, because we can play Mightstone, Weakstone, and Harvester in the same turn if we want to do that instead of Angel Invention, which would depend on what they play here. They have found their second color here. They kept a monocolored hand and did get rewarded in the end. There's the Moon Snare prototype, which is just mana. They don't have any blue mana untapped, so I believe it is just Angel of Invention and get the tokens, so that if they have more removal, we still got value out of this card. But also, we went ahead and ran it out while they were tapped out of potential counterspells. Thought Monitor is a great one. 2/2 flyer, draw 2. Land for turn. They equip the Mortar Pod to the Thought Monitor, which is instant speed sack. So if I Mightstone and Weakstone the Thought Monitor, they respond by sacking it to kill the Angel of Invention anyway. So Angel of Invention is dead no matter what here. Which is tragic. If I don't try to Mightstone and Weakstone the Thought Monitor, then if I attack with everybody, they don't even have to sack the Thought Monitor to kill the Angel. This is actually quite awkward. I think I have to just Mightstone and Weakstone force the sack here. Which is a tragedy. Because I can't really attack into the Thought Monitor. Anyway. And they just don't even have to sack it and kill the Angel. So we gotta force it. And then send in the swing, drop Ashnod's Harvester. Archaeomander, Jesus. That's really strong. For another 3-for-1, the creature plus draw 2. Gear Seeker Serpent. Okay. This is 3 mana to equip. Can't play Saw Blades at the same time. That's rough. Could play the Spyglass Siren though. I don't feel very good right now. I mean, I'm at 18 and they're at 6, but double Thought Monitor, the Mortar Pod value, they've gotten really, really good card advantage value here to get to a really stable position. And they can flip things pretty easily from there. If we don't, oh god, yeah, especially with a Steel Overseer, if we don't like immediately draw like on the job or something that kills them here. They're at 6, at least. Can Wanderers strike the Steel Overseer if I need to? I think we're just whittling away their flyers because then I can keep moving the hover wings around. They can't make more flyers. And if I Wander Strike, I mean, I guess they can Mortar Pot away our stuff, but if I Wander Strike like the Thought Monitor here, they've only got 2 flyers, but those 2 flyers could get buffed with Overseer, but my god. This is a difficult spot to be in. I guess I can Saw Blades the Overseer after it activates 1 time. I think I'm gonna Wander Strike the Monitor. I really wanted to get a counter before this, but I can't control what the map sees, what the map hits. And the map did not hit a +1/+1 counter, sadly. Gigantic Barricade Breaker, sure. Mortar Pod the Archaeum Ender. I could like sack that to kill Ashnod's Harvester if I try to equip it. Barb Spike onto the Vault Scourge. So they can gain 3 on their block. But that is their final flyer. This is so awkward because If I hover wings the 2/2, they trade Vault Scourge into it. And then I don't have any more flyers that survive a mortar pod. Oops, I tapped wrong. 2 and a white. I think we put it there. And then if they mortar pot away their Archaeum Ender to kill a 2/1, that's like fine. To kill a servo. Take it, go to 2. Okay. Okay. I think I have to Sawblade Steel Overseer. Because I don't think they're going to attack with this Vault Scourge. To where I can Sawblades the Vault Scourge. That was a really good draw. Kill our token permanently. And then they can attack with this Vault Scourge, because if I double block, then they just crack the Mortar Pod. Wow, yeah, that was a super brutal draw for us. I was maybe not supposed to block there, actually. Come to think of it. Because, like, what? They block 3 creatures, essentially. Block that. A 1/1, a 1/1. Yeah, no, it wouldn't have been lethal. It would have been lethal regardless, I suppose. 4 mana to play Cohort. 4 mana to flip Sawblades. I need 8 mana total. I have 2 mana to play around with. 2 mana is not 3. I do not have the mana to play Cohort, flip Sawblades, and equip Hoverwings. This 10 is not 11. They're at 6 life, 2 blockers up. Block a 5/5. Block a 5/5, block a 3/1. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll see what they top decked here. If it's not removal, then we can just hit them with a 6 power flyer with the Blade Wheel Chariot. Oh my god, what a draw. What a draw. On the job. If they can survive an on the job as well here, then I think they earned it. Okay, they can't even survive the 6 power flyer. Close game, but that is 5-1 now, in the money, whatever happens from here as we head into game number 7. All right, here we are on the play now. We're going to start with a turn 2 barbed spike. We've got both of our colors off Razor Tide Bridge immediately. It's a nice opening hand. Glint Sleeve Artisan was a great draw here. Fills out our mana curve. Now 2, 3, and 4 mana plays. That's one tough cookie. Poke for 2. Drop an Artisan, fabricating a servo out. Tough Cookie is actually really fun in this set because they have the indestructible artifact lands. You can actually animate those with this. Get indestructible 4/4 beat sticks. This is a game that, again, we are absolutely playing in the sky. Green-black is going to have much bigger ground creatures than us, so we just need to fly over for all the damage. I forgot Hover Wings buffs everyone that's equipped, so we missed a point of damage there. We should have played Hexgold Hover Wings pre-combat. No, my equipment. They have so much food right now. It means they're gonna get so many rats, but the rats can't block. So they don't do a ton by themselves. It's actually kind of interesting to move this spike over. Let's play Chrome Courier first and see what we draw, but I think I might just move the spike to one of my 2/2s so I can attack with a 3/2 on the ground too. Okay, Rebuke would be not the greatest when it's revealed, but still good. I mean, they know they couldn't play anything that costs whatever less. I don't think Thraben Inspector's that great here. I think I'm going to take a revealed Rebuke, as awkward as it is. Which does mean I'm going to hold that up instead. So they know they can't play like their good 4 or 5 mana play this turn. I think they're low enough on mana that even a revealed Metallic Rebuke's pretty good. But also, I am low enough on mana that I can't hold up the Rebuke and move the spike. Candy Grapple gets around the Rebuke. I just realized because they have the open mana now, it would have been really bad to try to move the spike to a ground creature anyway. Because they have enough mana to turn their artifacts into 4/4s, so we just can't attack on the ground even with a spike equipped. I mean, I could put the spike onto Cohort now, and then it'll just end up trading into a food token. It's really not that good. Oaken Siren is not bad. But the tough cookie means that they have a bunch of 4/4 blockers. Just one per turn, but keep activating over and over. If we do trade like a 4/1 into one of their foods, they'll still have more left over. Sweet Tooth Witch. They have a bunch of breathing room with all this life gain, but overall things are not going particularly poorly for us. We've got enough blockers on the ground that we're at a bit of a stalemate here. So if we draw into one of our good rares before they do, we've got a great shot. But if they draw into one of their good rares before we do, then they've got a great shot. They are getting to the point they can start tough cookie jamming in with the indestructible land. We're at 20, so that's going to take some time. And we're flooding. If I move the spike onto the cohort, I can't trade with their indestructible land, but if they try to hit us with like 2 different 4/4s, at least I could block and trade into one of them. Slowly dying. Slowly drowning. I forgot to move my spike back to trade into this food. It's on me. Kind of an awkward time to draw that. They have 3 blockers total. Yeah, this is far from lethal. And they might just not want to block. This is probably our best bet, is just flunge it. So we just keep trying to grind out the long game and it's not happening. It's definitely not lethal. Can chump the 2 4/4s and take 6, so it's also not a lethal crackback from our opponent. Might actually work out okay in the end. I can crack the clue and I'm still holding up Metallic Rebuke. But I would have to tap one of my creatures to cast Metallic Rebuke if I crack the clue right now. If I cast Rebuke before cracking the clue, then I can play Rebuke tapping the clue and the spike. And then crack the clue as well. If they tap 3 here, they're tapped out of using Tough Cookie and they're tapped out of their food. So this is actually a pretty pivotal Rebuke moment. Yeah, so it actually just does fully counter the Confectioner. They play Ravenous Squirrel. We have 3 power in the sky, but they have a food. They have, yeah, a food to eat here to not die. Let's see if we draw the Cogwork guy for a single blue. We do not. Sawblades is something. Six life. I believe I am still attacking with the Chrome Courier because I have a Sawblades up now as well. I only have to attack with Oaken Siren to force them to eat their food. But if I attack with both, I make them just gain the life instead of gaining a life and drawing a card. Maybe I make a 4-power Harvester in case they get to Tough Cookie. Or just like to block the Ravenous Squirrel. I guess they don't have any non-creature artifacts anymore for the Tough Cookie. So even if they made a food this turn, it would be Summoning Sick. It doesn't give haste. Yeah. They activate the Indestructible Land. Send the Indestructible Land. They can eat the tough cookie on blocks. They'll be at 5 life at that point. Man, I just don't think we can get there. So I don't have enough flying power. If I go to 2 here, then I'm definitely dead on the next attack. But if I chump block with a creature, I'm also definitely dead on the next attack. I think that they've got us. I guess if I top deck Angel of Invention, that'll get there. All right. I think blocking or not blocking is just going to be a very similar spot either way. We'll basically just need Angel of Invention. Three plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold the phone, dude. Really? Four mana to cast, 3 to equip. Sweet Jesus. We had another out. Oh my god, what a draw. Archaeo Mender for the flying equipment, and that pulls us to 6 and 1 there. Crazy game of Magic. That tough cookie being the mana sink they needed to just keep shredding in with those tokens made the top deck war really, really bad for us. You know, the board stall, they're just slowly getting in and getting in and getting in. I mean, we were as well with a little bit of flying damage, but because of all the food, they were going a lot faster. Crazy. I did not think we were going to be able to get there that game, but we certainly did in the end. Super, super close one. That is 6 and 1. Heading into the final battle with 2 rounds in the chamber. We have 2 chances to get a full trophy run today. All right, here we are for what could be the final battle. If we win this game, it'll be the last game of Magic for today. And this is a really strong hand. Having the cheap flyer to throw the +1/+1 counters onto with Simian Simulacrum is awesome. The other synergy that's quite good here is throwing the +1/+1 counters onto the Monoskellion. If they have 1 toughness cards to shoot, that gives us more counters to throw at their 1 toughness cards. Our opponents on blue-white, they start with Thraben Inspector and get jamming in. There's Steel Overseer, which, if I were on the play, we could play Monoskellion and shoot it before it does anything, but because I'm on the draw, we can't kill it until, like, Mightstone and Weakstone, because they get to tap it before I get to try to ping it. So that's quite unfortunate. I think I play the tap land and crack the map here. Get that land out of the way. I mean, if we're insanely lucky, I have no idea why they would ever do this, but maybe they'll choose to attack with the Overseer instead of tapping it. Yeah, there's no universe they'll do that with a Chrome Courier on board. Wow, and the draws are Citizen's Arrest or land. Some good options. They grab the Citizen's Arrest. Misclick, misclick, misclick. Fingers crossed. Please misclick, I'm begging. Just slam that all attack button. They did not misclick. Steel Overseer is going to be perfectly safe from Monoskelion. Okay. If I Simian Simulacrum the Spyglass Siren, they're just going to exile it with Citizen's Arrest. Monoskelion doesn't do anything here, because they just respond to me casting it by putting a counter on Courier and Overseer. I think I play it anyway, but I'm pretty sure this Overseer runs away with the game. It's got a buddy on its side. By the time I kill it, the Chrome Courier is going to be like a 4/4 flyer. This is one of those games where you get to like really see the play draw differential. Where literally, like, if we were on the play, I think we would be very favored because we would kill the Steel Overseer before it does anything. But being on the draw, our opponent is not even very favored. They're like extremely favored because we can't clear out the Overseer till 5 mana. I mean, in theory, I could have went Monoskelion on 2, Simulacrum on 3, and then on turn 4, attempt to shoot the Overseer for 3. To kill it 1 turn faster than killing it with Might Stone and Weak Stone, but that's still 3 counters on Chrome Courier if I went all in that way, and if I went all in that way and then they just had the second white for Citizen's Arrest, it wouldn't have worked regardless. So either way, they have a 3/3 or 4/4 Chrome Courier, depending. That's a draw. So we play Monoskelion and Sawblades now. We can actually kill the Overseer that way. It's a very, very good draw. They've still leveled up this Courier to 3/3 stats at worst. I would love a trade here. I mean, I guess because I'm about to kill the Steel Overseer, it's not like Courier's going to become bigger than a 3/3 later. So trade's fine, but not actually super exciting. The trade would only be super exciting if the Courier was going to keep getting bigger from this point on. Oh, wow. I'm surprised they want this trade because they're still under the impression that Overseer could be around longer, which means that just if they wait 1 turn longer, then in theory the Courier outclasses the Siren anyway. Hard evidence, get a crab, get a clue. Crack the clue. All right, we're kind of chilling. I immediately feel way, way more in this game than I did just like one turn ago. It was a really nice turn. I'll trade my counter for the 0-3 crab, if they let me. Cool. Just get the chunker out of the way. Terrifying card, but we have Mightstone and Weakstone. They could have the blue counterspell, unless we pay 3. If they got it, they got it, because if I don't cast the Mightstone and Weakstone right now, the Assembler's going to be 6 toughness anyway. Because it puts counters on itself, so... Now I might be actually simulacruming counters onto Monoskellion, because I can pick it up, put the counters there. Yeah, I mean, that seems pretty chill to me. And that lets me get the 3-1 in here. They probably just trade into Monoskellion. Yeah. Oh, I should have sent all 3 in, because if they block the soldier, then I ping there. Gotta get better using Monoskellion. There's Oltec, Cloud Guard. Land for us. Sawblades is summoning sick when we flip it, so... Yeah, because you exile it, then put it back on the board. Okay. Cohort's got unearthed, so I don't think I mind too much. It trades down to into a 1-1 here. Cool. Spring load those saw blades, get the 5/5 chariot thing. And crew it with my summoning sick 1/1 next turn. Citizens arrest. Goodbye, 2-1. Goodbye, 1-1. We got a lethal attack this turn. I've got an extremely lethal attack now. They're dead on board, but just in case they have some kind of removal, we play this pre-combat so we hit slightly harder. Even if they blow up the chariot, we hit for 4 instead of 3. Okay. They don't have anything, and that is 7-1. A great run for the return to the Artifact Remix draft. It's a nice long draft as well. Big 8-game premier draft with some long, hard-fought battles. Pretty sweet stuff in the Artifact Mixer. 2,200 gems and 6 packs is going to be that prize out. Here's another look at the deck. Just some great classic blue-white flyer stuff. This is stuff you can do in a lot of different A lot of different draft formats, playing a bunch of flyers and kind of buffing them up, but we had some really powerful cards to do that. Angel of Invention being probably the best card in the whole deck, buffing that entire board and giving us another flyer, but Thought Monitor also did a lot of great work. And some good stuff from Simian Simulacrum as well, particularly in that final game. Outside of that, though, just some really good cards at going wide, particularly the double Scrapwork cohort. Those played really well with the On the Job. We also just have a lot of creatures in general to go with the On the Job, and a lot of cheap flyers, Spyglass Siren, Vault Scourge, Oaken Siren, Barbed Spike, and a couple Chrome Couriers to fly in for a bunch of damage, so... Sweet stuff, simple deck, simple strat, but powerful stuff all around. Great stuff for today's draft. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.